The year was 2022. Sean Strickland was up against Alex Pereira in his most high-profile fight in his career at the time, and this is where a lot of people found out about Sean Strickland. He was someone different, someone who didn't bend the knee to the big corporation that owns him. He did what he wanted, and he said what he wanted. And he was actually somewhat funny, especially when he was roasting Israel Adesanya at that press conference.
No man that beats off the cartoons is gonna beat me.
Bro, trust me, on your
Get
face.
this man, Alex, get
Hey man, you better focus on your guy, if not he's gonna fuck you up too.
Yeah, the way he fucking slept your ass.
And he had a unique and crazy personality. I mean, he was literally a real-life GTA character. Plus, Sean Strickland was an underdog story. No one, and I mean nobody, thought that Sean Strickland was gonna go in there and beat Israel Adesanya. But then it turns out, Sean Strickland actually destroyed Israel Adesanya for 5 rounds straight. And a lot of people didn't really like Izzy at the time, including me. He has a dog fetish, is cringe, he thinks he's the main character in an anime, he makes stuff up about his opponents and calls them racist. If you don't like him, he'll call you a racist, fakes that he has cancer, and lies about his upbringing. Damn, Izzy is actually like a really bad guy. How does he still have people who root for him? But then again, there is still a lot of people who like John Jones, who is like 10 times worse than Israel Adesanya. But anyways, back to Sean Strickland. He also has a sad upbringing and a sad backstory, so a lot of people sympathize with him. But then in 2024, it all changed. Now, before I continue and spend the next like 8 minutes bashing Sean Strickland for everything he does, I just want to say, I used to like Sean Strickland. I thought he was funny, and I agreed with like 80% of the stuff he says. But now, he just kind of started getting over the top, and he just started being a little dumb. If you ask me, I think the very start of Sean Strickland's downfall started the night that he fought Dricus Du Plessis and lost the title to him. This was a super close fight, and a lot of people were saying that Sean Strickland won that fight, but if you ask me, I think that Dricus Du Plessis won that fight. I think it was a super close fight, but I think Dricus Du Plessis did enough to win. And that's just something a lot of UFC fans do. When it's a super close fight and the fighter they want to win doesn't win, they'll immediately call it a robbery and just bash the other fighter, even though it's not even the other fighter's fault. If it is a robbery, it's the judge's fault, not the other fighter. They're just doing their job. But for that fight, the entire narrative was that Sean Strickland got robbed, and almost everyone was saying that. So Strickland just kind of took that and ran with it, and he very quickly became the guy who was like constantly complaining that he got robbed and that he deserved an immediate rematch, even though he didn't defend his title once and he lost it immediately. So he didn't really deserve an immediate rematch, and he just refused to fight anyone else to prove that he deserves it. He just kind of sat there and said, I deserve it. I'm not fighting anyone until the UFC gives me the belt. I got robbed. And he pretty much complained for like half a year, even though there are other middleweight fighters who deserved a title shot way more. And then when Sean Strickland decided to stop complaining and actually fight someone, he fought Paulo Costa. And during the entire build-up of this fight, he was saying stuff like, I'm gonna go to war. We're gonna bleed for you guys, for the fans. But then when the fight started, it was literally one of the most boring fights in UFC history. Sean Strickland's fighting style makes it so majority of the fights he is in are incredibly boring to watch, unless his opponent is doing literally all the work. Sean Strickland's style is just meant to like keep you away from him. He only teeps, jabs, and occasionally throws a straight. And the worst part about this is that he says this every single press conference, every single build-up. He's like, I'm gonna bleed for you guys. It's gonna be a war. I'm gonna die for you. But then when the bell starts, all he does is worry about defense, and it doesn't look like a war at all. He literally just lies to us. I'm not going to say why I think Sean Strickland's mind immediately perfected defense in his career, but all I'm going to say is that if you know about his childhood, you know why he only worries about defense and tries not to get hit and never throws anything back. And even when he does throw back, the only thing he does is arm punches. Like, dude, how are you supposed to be top level and you don't even know how to throw a hook? He literally just swings his arm and hits people with his wrists. I'm not even kidding. That's like 50% of the punches he throws. And what sucks is that like Sean Strickland knows he's not gonna go to war for us. He knows he's not gonna bleed. Well, he will bleed, but it won't be because he's starting a war with the guy. He'll just get hit because he's not doing anything. But like he acts like he fights like Dustin Poirier, which he just does not. He does not go to war. He just lies to his fans. And I'm not even kidding when I say this. I think Merab is a far more entertaining fighter than Sean Strickland. Merab honestly might also have more knockout power than Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland hit Izzy with the perfect shot. It didn't knock him out. And then followed it up with like 20 punches after that. And Izzy was still able to give the ref a thumbs up saying, I'm still good, don't stop the fight. Sean Strickland is like the pure definition of a pillow puncher. He is incapable of knocking anyone out unless they're an influencer and know nothing about fighting. That's when he'll actually fight you, when you're a 120-pound influencer that knows nothing about fighting. And the crazy thing is that he is literally trying to knock these influencers out. Doesn't it feel like Sean Strickland is fighting a new influencer like every month? He needs to calm down. But I'm not kidding. Like, recently I just saw a clip of Sean Strickland sparring an influencer, and he's just straight up throwing elbows at the guy's face, trying to knock him out. Sean Strickland is just trying to find out what it feels like to knock someone out, since he's never done it before, and the only people he actually knocks out are the fans watching him fight, because he's just so boring to watch. I mean, look at his last fight when he fought Dricus Du Plessis for the second time. Sean Strickland did absolutely nothing that entire fight, and was pretty much just a human punching bag for 25 minutes. And Sean Strickland just isn't that funny anymore. He knows that his fans love it when he says like out of the pocket crazy stuff. So that's just all he says now. And it's just so obvious that he knows that his fans like it, so he goes way over the top with it, and it just kind of comes off as fake. Like when he says this crazy stuff, you can literally see in his brain, he's thinking, haha, did you guys see that? That was so funny what I just said. Aren't I awesome? You can see him thinking that after he says something crazy. I feel like the only people who really like Sean Strickland anymore are the people who just see what he says about like social issues, and they don't really look like any deeper into it. And they're like, oh yeah, Sean Strickland's a good guy, but they're like surface level fans. They don't like see everything else he does. If you ask me, I think that Sean Strickland got lucky with Israel Adesanya, and I think he knows he got lucky. And then when he fought Dricus Du Plessis, Dricus says that Sean Strickland literally walked up to him after the fight and said, hey, congrats, man, I agree, I think you won that fight. But then after the fight, Sean Strickland just completely backpedaled and was like, oh, I was robbed, I won that fight, even though he admitted to Dricus Du Plessis winning. And he just knew he got lucky in both of those fights. So then that's kind of why he didn't want to fight anyone else. He just wanted to fight for the title, because he knew that there was a good chance he was going to lose that fight, and then he would just be out of the question forever, pretty much. But to be fair, he did fight Paulo Costa. That was a closer fight than a lot of people think. Go back and watch it if you want to be bored for 25 minutes. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to watch it, but it actually was a lot closer than a lot of people think. And this is why he didn't do anything during the rematch with Dricus Du Plessis. He knew that Dricus was going to like kick his ass. So it was kind of like a moral victory not to get knocked out. So Sean's entire like goal in that fight was just, okay, I'm not going to win. Let's just not get knocked out. Let's lose by decision. And now I think he's going to go on a losing streak. And the entire Sean Strickland era is going to feel like a kind of like a fever dream. And people will say, hey, remember that Sean Strickland guy? But that'll kind of be it. I don't think he's ever going to get a title shot ever again. And to be honest, he didn't even deserve the title shot when he got it against Israel Adesanya. There was just no one else to give it to. So pretty much to summarize everything, Sean Strickland fights like he wants people to fall asleep while watching him. He says he'll do anything for the fans, but then proceeds to only jab and teep for the entire 25 minutes. The only stuff he says now are things that he knows people want to hear, and he goes way over the top with it, so it comes off as fake. To be honest, he's practically the middleweight version of Leon Edwards. He doesn't really want to fight, and all he does is just enough to beat his opponent, so then he wins by decision. He doesn't really care about knocking the guy out, even though he says he's going to knock them out. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Sean Strickland is still like entertaining and fun? Do you guys still like him? I know he has a pretty big fan base, and I'll probably get roasted a lot in the comments. And if Sean Strickland finds this video, he's probably going to track me down and shoot me. But I'm just saying how I see it. I think Sean Strickland is way more annoying than he is funny or entertaining at this point. And if you like this video and want to see more, I have a couple more on how I think Charles Oliveira will beat Ilia Topuria if they end up fighting. And I have a video on how I know John Jones has been to a Diddy party. I have some pretty good evidence. But anyways, leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.